this is the news according to the Sunday Mirror. This is their front page in the Sunday Mirror. I thought we'll start with that. Obviously, they're the leading tabloid for the left, as you might call it. Michael Owen begged me for nude pics. I'm just wondering, John, do you think the Sunday Mirror's really telling us what news we need to hear?
Well, newspapers always do that, and the Mirror Group masquerades as a sort of left Labour-leaning paper. I can never forgive them for when Robert Maxwell smeared the NUM leaders over Russian gold, but who gives a crap what Michael Owens asked or what he's doing, or whether he wants to, you know, get nude pictures of a Big Brother contestant? Perhaps Carroll might know a little bit more about that. He might have asked her as well, but this shows what tabloids are about, you know, and it also shows that they've given up on politics as well, because there's no opposition, the government's running rampant, so you might as well talk about Michael Owen, who actually is the worst football pundit there is. That's what they should be saying, not about nude pics. Yeah,
well, Maria, I mean, I just think I mean, what's going on in the world? There's so much going on in the world, and to think that the leading tabloid, supposedly for the left, is covering that story, it's just unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. You look what's going on. I mean, Starmer has kicked out 3 people from his office. We've had the most devastating defeat in Amersham. Boris has lost a seat. All those things going on, and we've got a picture of Michael Owen on the front page. The only thing I can say is I wish put him alongside Owen Jones, because they're kind of like appeared on our TV sets as these young people. But I think Owen has aged better.
All right, well, look, that's sort of like obviously not the main news, but I think it's important that it is said that the tabloids are not, I mean, the left-wing papers are not doing their job. This is from The Observer, a cartoon with Boris Johnson, and it's got a brick coming at him from Chesham and Amersham. And then there's a double page in The Observer about why people voted Lib Dem and didn't vote for the Tories in Amersham. Now, John, the Observer is very happy to talk about how badly the Conservatives have done in Amersham, but they haven't mentioned in that double page spread what the Morning Star points out, which is Labour crashes to worst ever result ever in Chesham election. Is the Observer just a kind of Starmer favouring paper? Does it not tell us what's going on? I mean, that's a pretty bad defeat in Chesham and Amersham, isn't it?
If you'd watched the news coverage on television the morning after, there was no mention either. I think there's this wall of protective silence around Starmer because they're afraid he's going to fall, and they're afraid that you know, they might just once again, although I think it's highly unlikely under the say, lose control of the Labour Party. But that result, and I don't think anybody inside the front bench has mentioned it, 11,374 votes in 2017, and now we crashed to 622. I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true, that they've actually got over 1,300 members in that constituency. So it might appear that less than half Labour Party members wanted to vote for the candidate. And had this happened, we always have to say, had this happened under Jeremy Corbyn, there'd be no mention of the Lib Dems taking the seat. It'd be a crushing indictment of leadership, etc. I'm still waiting for the day. You know, we were all told any other leader would be 20 points ahead, and I suppose you have to look at it really forensically to work out where those 20 points have gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point being made about the number of members in Amersham and sorry, Chesham and Amersham. I tried to find that out, and nobody in the constituency would reveal that information. But I would suspect that it may be that there are more members in Chesham and Amersham than there are Labour voters, which is a strange situation. Now, Maria, there is another story that you just mentioned about Starmer. I mean, he does seem to be panicking a little bit by changing his team around him. Can you tell us what you know about this, and what do you think about what's going on there? Is he on the way out, Starmer?
Well, I think that as I said before, it's been a really interesting few days, because what we didn't hear from any of the commentators on, or even indeed public that were interviewed, that there is a vaccine bounce, or that it's down to the vaccine. It's as if that's not occurred. And what we see is that people are saying, well, what is the Labour Party offering in England? Because we can't see anything. Everything that comes out has been about a focus on new leadership and on the leader. Now, when you're a football team, you don't just concentrate on one player, and the rest of us has been kicked aside. And I think one of the interesting points that's being made is that a Labour spokesperson has said that an opportunity has been wasted, that years and years of work to deliver grassroots, to deliver campaign on the ground and all the rest of it has just been squandered in exchange for a entirely focused and driven communication system that is being new leadership. So it brings you back to Amersham, where you have to say, okay, if you're going to go for tactical votes, you've got to offer something. And I can't see that Labour in England has offered anything. So maybe Starmer has responded to the serious concerns that have been expressed for quite some time and are growing from within the PLP. But also, I think it's time he started to listen to the membership. And we haven't seen that at all. Some members are listened to, but not others.
He's in a Westminster bubble. He's kind of got no contact with what's actually going on the ground. He's lost all touch, isn't he? Now, final story of that's been mentioned in the chat a bit here. John, what do you think about the decision to allow John Bercow to become a Labour member and to join Labour? Do you think this is going to go down well in the north?
I actually personally quite like Bercow. I think as Speaker, who were a bit of a breath of fresh air amongst all that pomp and ceremony. He didn't wear the knee breeches and gaiters and the wig and things like that speakers seem to love. And he was hated by his own party for that. I'm not surprised that he's joined Labour. I think that, you know, the Starmeroid party is perhaps more in line with his politics. But for me, the tragedy is, and I don't mind him joining Labour, I just wish Labour was a bit more welcoming to the rest of us. You know, there's no room for the Chris Williamsons in Labour, but there's room for ex-Tories. In fact, there's no room for me. I've been suspended months and months and months, and as much as you know, he has attacked the Tories, and I saw him on television today. He was brutal in his own way about Matt Hancock and that. But it's also, if you think about it, an indictment upon the Starmeroid party, that the only people wanting to join are ex-Tories, and the rest of us are thrown out into the wilderness, and you know, I just hope they welcome us all back.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, I hope you come back. I hope you all get back, but it might be a while while Starmer's controlling that. So but thank you both for reviewing the papers, including the terrible front page of the Mirror. Cheers. Thank you, John, and thank you, Maria.